Good afternoon. You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW Alternative Talk. I'm your host, Reverend Walden. It's my joy to be on the air. I just love it, love it, love it. Thank all my supporters and all the ones who help support Mother's Justice Show. We want to hop to it because we got a lot to talk about. Got three guests lined up today. I'm going to hop right to it to Mr. Rye. He's no stranger to the Mother's Justice Show. I mean, he comes on and give us our around the world view, and then I'll have Vickie Beach on, and she's going to talk about the judge, the appointment. I know you will too. And then we have Felicia Cross is going to talk about the community engagement meeting tomorrow night. So, all right, Mr. Rye, what's up?
Well, quite a bit, Reverend Harriet. Ukraine's been on the headlines, and I guess what's happening as of late with the Russian soldiers raping the women over there, and I have to think back about, who is supporting Russia, and you start thinking about Tucker Carlson and the folks from Fox TV who continually try to divert attention from what's going on in the real world to focus on something like Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden is not raping any women, little girls in Ukraine. And to think that, the former president would be supporting Putin and supporting this kind of atrocity is just out of the ordinary for me. But then
it's not out of the ordinary because this is the same thing they would like to do. This is what they would like to do to us. Let us be clear.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. The past president did have a history of groping and violating women. But the thing that gets me most is that so many women will still support him, and they have to now think this is what you're really legitimizing by supporting 45, is that now he is supporting the Russian troops running wild, raping little girls and women and just abusing the Ukrainians. And I think that you really have to look at where our leaders are in this country, where some people, their leaders, are in this country, because all they're really doing is justifying the actions of the outrageous conduct of the Russians. So that's just really unfortunate. And I've been praying for the Ukrainians. Being a Christian, you pray for people who are in need, and pray for things to become better for them, no matter who they are or where they are. If you really say if you really think you're who you say you are when you're a Christian. But on the other hand, I want to say that MLK Gandhi Empowerment Initiative, it's an initiative that we've been working on for about a year and a half now, along with Ram Dixit and some others from the Indian American community, because most of them are here from India. And we have received a appropriation sponsored by Representative Sharon Tomiko Santos, the first $500,000 that will go for stipends. And we're raising enough money so that the participants in this digital technology training program will not have to worry about paying rent or buying food. The participants will get $2,500 a month. The courses will be from 12 to 14 weeks. We have a number of folks who are on the advisory committee. We're looking for locations in Renton, in Federal Way, and South Seattle. And just to give you an idea, a facility like that's large enough, like New Beginnings Christian Fellowship. I know that Bishop Zachary Bruce and up in Skyway has a church and a facility that can also accommodate this. And we're actually, it's one of those deals where you recommend participate. It's not an open thing where people just come in and like, no, you got to come in with some community background. We want our people to be successful, because when they leave this program, they will be making between $60,000 and $100,000 a year. Now, if you take another 4 weeks, you go up to like 100 or 120,000 starting. And so the African descendants of the United States enslaved, nothing against the other Black folks who are in the industry, we represent 1.5% to 2% of the people there making that kind of money. So fortunately, because Dr. King studied Mahatma Gandhi and how he freed India and got the Indian Liberation Act of 1947. Dr. King was a student at Morehouse during that time and studied Gandhi's movements. And there are a lot of different stories. I know Gandhi at one time was a tyrant. He was in South Africa. And when they started treating the Indians the way they treated the Black South Africans, he got a new life and came back to free his people. And unfortunately, he was assassinated by one of his own folks because the person that killed him said he was embracing the Muslims. And but you know, that's what a person of a Gandhi or King would do. They would always do the right thing at the right time. So that's right. I will have more information on this. Like I said, we do have proposals before Congressman Adam Smith is sponsoring us for appropriation. And in the Senate, Senator Patty Murray is also sponsoring us. Now, if they don't have the final say, it goes before a committee. The committee is made up from people, from representatives and senators from their committee. They could be from Mississippi and now like folks or whatever. But I understand that when they see meaningful projects that make sense to them, they will support it. So those are things that we're working on right now. And also working still with the Washington State Civil Rights Coalition. And most recently, I went back to the National Association of Minority Contractors. I was one of the founders, along with Grover Johnson and Bob Armstead, Dan Seidel, and a couple of other folks. And so the officers, they had some kind of dispute. It's a national organization. And NAMC, it started in Oakland, California, with a guy by the name of Joe Devereaux and Ray Connolly. And Joe Devereaux and Willie Allen in the early 70s or the 70s, because I worked for JDA Consulting Group, which was Joe Devereaux and Allen on 21st, when he owned the building on 21st and Union, a big building there. So that organization is over 40 years old. And as a matter of fact, the Central Contractors Association morphed into NAMC. It was founded in Oakland. It was a West Coast, and they moved to Washington, D.C. And was poorly as African descendants of the United States enslaved, but knowing the Black folks who've been here 400 years, are doing in public contracting. We're doing less than 0.5 of 1% in King County and probably most of the state. And we've had 9 disparity studies, all say the same thing. Black folks are being discriminated against. When we filed a complaint with the United States Department of Justice, Barbara Armstead filed on behalf of the Civil Rights Coalition, and 21 individuals and organizations, including Reverend Harry and Walden, the Justice Department sent the racial discrimination complaint over to the United States Department of Transportation. Now, I know we have very competent persons, the Deputy Attorney General for Civil Rights, Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights, Christine Clark, who would be making a decision on this. But Merrick Garland is starting to scare me with his lackadaisical approach to dealing with discrimination against African descendants. I'm very concerned about his posture. And I'm beginning to really stand now, maybe by him not being confirmed, we'd have a Democrat on the line on the court. So I can't say he would be that bad. He might vote the right way if he was encouraged by some others. But there's no way a racial discrimination suit filed with the Department of Justice need to be referred to the Department of Transportation. So that's
you're right about that. And I mean, what kind of outpour, what could we do? I mean, what could the community do?
Well, I tell you what, Congressman Adam Smith wrote a letter to the Justice Department encouraging them to pursue the investigation of the racial discrimination against Black folks in Washington State. His staff went over, it was 9 disparity studies and a private study by the Boston Group that was sponsored by the Washington CEOs, when they came up and said, we're going to invest $2 billion in the Black community over the next 5 years. Well, they also had a study that proved the same thing. You have 9 studies proving Black people are discriminated against, and a private study paid for by government agencies who gets this information back because they said, well, there's no affirmative action. At 1990, no affirmative action since 1998 for over 23 years, and Black people in this state suffered the brunt of that, not only in business opportunities, but also in educational opportunities.
Well, you know what I'm convinced of, and I'm so glad you're still working on this, Mr. Rye, is that there is an unwritten something somewhere. You know, policy is supposed to be written, But there's something unwritten that's not published somewhere. They want to keep Native Americans and African Americans from never, ever enjoying the richness of this country. I mean, we didn't get our 40 acres and a mule. We've been run off the land. They took the farming land away from us. And they still running off the land and all of this stuff. But everybody else comes to America to get a piece of the apple. We can get a piece of America. And I really think, because see, they owe us reparations. They don't owe anyone else that they're bringing to America anything but other to come to be safe and to be free. And we haven't had that. And so I think it's something somewhere in some kind of document say, don't ever let these people get ahead, because then that'll mess up our game, because we want to make sure they stay on the bottom. We're going to bring everybody else in the front ahead of them. And that's how that's been working ever since Dr. King lost his life there in Memphis. It's been a conscious effort to make sure that we continue to slide further and further behind. And no matter how well, and we're meritorious. I mean, just like the new Supreme Court Justice judge is meritorious. We've had great merit all of our lives, because it's everything that you pick up in America almost has a Black influence. Even the cell phones, they got the coltan from the Congo. I mean, everywhere you look, the spaceship went up the other day. I mean, Katherine Johnson. I mean, everywhere you look, but yet and still, we've been pushed back and denied our rightful opportunity.
Well, Reverend Harriet, the reason that what you have to look at is that Dr. King, as you mentioned already, and Black folks got civil rights for everybody. Okay, you got to look at the fact that all these programs, this minority business program, was started by Black folks, by right. Black folks being active. And right. The fact is that we have some institutions like the building trade unions. I think a lot of the folks are retiring now, but there was a conscious effort. I was with Tyree Scott, Michael Wu, and Harley Bird, Michael Ross, and Harold Wright when we went and closed jobs down because they wouldn't let Blacks in the building trade union. And at that particular time, Roberto Maestas, Juan Bocanegra, and the students, the Chicano students from University of Washington and the Black Student Union was the force that came out and closed these jobs down when it was for Black folks only. And that's what also led to us supporting Roberto in terms of getting El Centro de la Raza, because we had that kind of camaraderie going. We still work well together, but there's some things that it's like when we're competing with other minority group members for things, other minority groups have countries that have airplanes and treasuries. Other folks have access to offshore money. So it's never going to be equal when you say the minority business program and a Donald Trump kind of business owner is selecting whether it's going to be a white female or Asian or Indian or Black. Right now at Sound Transit, Asians and white women are waived out of the program because they've far exceeded their goals. But because of the fact you have a white person, primarily a white male choosing, he will not choose a Black. That's all it is to it. It's proven in 9 disparity studies on a private study, Black folks in Washington State are being discriminated against almost everywhere you look. We're not doing 0.5% of 1% in this county or in this state. Now, we might do a little better at the airport because of Lance Little and some of the port commissioners. So the opportunities out there are increasing. Hopefully they're past 0.5%.
Well, I have a couple of things to say, but because of my time, it's we're going to be ending in a few minutes. But Doc, Thurgood Marshall went to the Supreme Court for the Negro. Now everybody else is added on, but let's be clear. I mean, he filed all those papers in the court for the Negro, and now we're generous. We add everybody, and that's great. But the filing in the court for all of these laws was based on our history in America, and then we do work in coalition, and that's what you're talking about. You're talking about that coalition, but those filings in the court was absolutely for a race of people, a group of people. At that time, they still considered us a race of people who was locked out. What you say, locked out, and all kind of locked out. So, but we have evolved to work in coalitions with other people. And that's what you're talking about. But also, we were talking about the war a few minutes ago. I don't want us to leave without mentioning Yemen, starvation, what's going on in Yemen and in Ethiopia. People are dying in Yemen and Ethiopia, but you can't hardly get any news out about that because they got wars going on over there too right now. So,
yeah, absolutely. And they definitely should be talking about it. Maybe that's the issue that the Black Caucus can take up.
Right, I believe so, because really and truly people are starving there. All right, Mr. Wright, thank you so much for coming on. I always enjoy your update. You always bring a neat, a clear perspective that's necessary in our community. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, thank you. We're going to take a break now. You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW Alternative Talk Radio. I'm your host, Reverend Walden. We'll be right back.
Market Street Shoes is happy to sponsor the Mother's Justice Show in honor of our mother, Jackie Higgins Rosebrook, who spent her life fighting for social justice, and also in honor of all mothers who fight for social justice. Market Street Shoes, fashionable footwear and apparel for life's everyday adventures, in the heart of Ballard since 2006. Visit marketstreetshoes.com.
What do trees make you think of? Life, longevity, health? There's a reason for that. They're the building blocks of our ecosystems, capable of restoring land and environment while creating stable food systems and economic opportunity. At Trees for the Future, for 30 years we've worked with smallholder farmers in developing countries to establish sustainable agroforestry methods. Where there was once deforestation and poor agricultural practices, there are now thriving microenvironments we call forest gardens, made up of more than 50 species of trees and dozens of shrubs, fruits, and vegetables. Through Trees for the Future's forest garden approach, thousands of farming families have successfully brought their land back to life, a sustainable solution to hunger, poverty, and climate change. Sponsored by Trees for the Future. You're invited to join the movement at trees.org/radio.
Hi, this is Dr. K. Mahina Intron, inviting you to tune in on Mondays on 1150 KKNW at 5 p.m. to Dr. K's Attuning to Your Abundance, where we honor everyday abundance through positive messages, poetry, music, affirmations, and writing exercises. For more information, contact Dr. K Workshops at gmail.com or Facebook, Dr. K's Abundance.
Alternative Talk 1150, the talk of the sound.
Good afternoon. You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW Alternative Talk Radio. I'm your host, Reverend Walden. It's my joy to be on there. I just love it. I'm going to bring my next guest in. It's getting to be a regular here also, as long as we're local. Sometimes when we go other places, then we actually bring on other people. But Miss Vickie Beach says she's going to come on, and welcome, Victoria. How are you doing today?
Thank you for having me. I always enjoy coming on. I'm good. Thank you.
You're getting a good radio voice. You've got a television presence, but you're getting a good radio voice. So this is good. Well, I just want to mention, what do you think about the Supreme Court Justice appointment and all that the girl went through? The treatment. What do you think about that?
Unbelievable. But you know what? She handled herself with so much grace, which was a slap in the face of them, because I bet you they were thinking, that we're going to push her so far, she's going to lose it. She kept her cool, full of class. She showed them that she deserved that position, It was appalling the way they treated her. But victory in the end.
But also, she was smarter than most people asking her the questions.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's amazing. Because I don't care how much education we have, somebody who just went to kindergarten want to question our ability, because that's what it's like. Kindergartners, okay?
Yep. Yep. I wouldn't even say kindergarten, preschool,
That's how they
it was. Yep, it was pathetic, but I was overjoyed. It literally made me cry. It's they better watch out, because we're coming in full force.
Also, what we have to watch out is for white rage whenever there's Black progress. This is a lifetime appointment. Obama was just 8 years. That's why I always vote. I vote a certain ticket for the Supreme Court appointments and for my grandmother. Because at the end of the day, the Supreme Court is the final arbiter for law in America. It sets the standard. And so her lifetime appointment, she's born in 1970, 2 days shy of Ketanji's birthday. Her birthday is September 14th. So that means that, hey, the next 25 years, if God allows, she has long life. I mean, she'll be still on the bench.
That's
and
right.
That's going to really infuriate people, I mean, but it's a win not only for us, but for our ancestors,
Right.
All they endured for this moment. And then she talked about she talked about slavery. She talked about, slavery and how many years it took to get to this place, And I always say it took 159 years for us to be talking today, because that's how long it's been since Lincoln signed the paper. But this is really incredible. And the work goes on. So, and I know that you've been working on, on the African American youth, community organizer, actually. That's what I'm gonna call you. You're a community organizer, not, and organizing the community around issues around public safety. Whether it's mothers who lost their children and been impacted by violence on that side, or either and actually also with the around public safety, whether it's wanting to be safe or wanting to make sure the police are using constitutional law. I mean, make a constitutional arrest and make sure that they're doing everything right. So you walk in both roads, walking both paths, and it takes a lot of energy to be able to do that. So, but anyway, I wanted to give us an update about what you're working on there, and then I think you had something else you wanted to talk about. Somebody wants to survey the community.
Yeah. I have lots to say.
Okay.
But yeah, I've been working with families that have lost, children to gun violence. And you and I have had many conversations about it. We've been in the same meetings with these families. And I think it's important to support these families, because, you see them on the news. You hear about when it happens, and a lot of people, their opinions are, they were shot and murdered. Well, they must have been gang members. They're probably just thugs. It's somebody's child.
That's right.
And we need to support these families and help give them some peace and to solve some of these murders. And and one thing, I actually talked with one of the mothers today, and she said, I just got to tell you and Mama Walden, she goes, I love you. You have supported us when nobody else has. I mean, she made me almost cry. She just said how thankful she is for us. And that we really show that we care when nobody else has been there for them.
That's right. Because we care as mothers. Mm-hmm. And then, we care for Charlene Lyles. That's our baby. She'll always be our baby.
Yep.
We'll always be our baby. We always cry for Charlene Lyles, even though I never met her.
Right.
97 pounds, and the police couldn't figure out how not to kill her.
Right.
And I grieve for that family and for her children, who will never, ever be the same again. But I also grieve for Elisa Dawson, Donita, Sinclair. I mean, you name all the mothers, and there's been a litany of mothers since 1990. And I could not be a mother myself and not say, hey, this is not, since 1990. And I mean, people was here doing this work. Before. If you go back to the 80s, people are going to say, well, so-and-so I know got killed in the 80s. We have enough people who have been killed almost to go around the world. If you were putting all those names around the world from every city to go around the world. If you were doing that. So yes, we need to talk about them. We need to honor those mothers. And people do that stuff. And we're not looking for anything extra special. We're just looking for people to get the resources that they need, to get the support that they need, and for them to absolutely investigate the crime.
Right.
And then hold the police accountable on the other side of the ledger when they do wrong. And that's what you've been doing. I really appreciate that.
Yep, you're right. Yeah. And the thing is, it's continuing. It's still happening. It is still happening. And we have got to figure a way. We just have to.
But you know what? But we got to figure out how to get our children's minds back. I mean, I remember when we went up to the tribe up in on the other side, near Bay. A community of people went up to near Bay when they wanted to bag that whale, and everybody was against them. They needed to get their children's mind back, so their children's mind would listen to them. We have lost the propaganda around our children's mind because other people got them. And starting with the rap, we have to talk about rap. We have to talk about what it did, because the rappers didn't know that we are the mothers of creation. I mean, life started in Africa with Black women with us. And now you have all of these podcasters calling Russell Wilson a cornball because he's a straight shooter. I mean, I guess he's a square. I mean, since when the square got, so that's mean like now that's like the nice guys finish last. We need to stop that. We need more nice guys. We need more nice people to say, hey, let's turn this around. And I believe, and that's the work that you're doing. You're working with these mothers, and we're trying to get out a different message. You're doing a lot of great work. I really appreciate what you're doing here in the community. And all transparency, it is volunteer. You ain't getting. They're not sending you a check. The controller, they're not sending you a check, and I know what that's like. Yeah, it's sometimes we just have so much passion because we know our people struggle. Yeah, you just get on up there, take a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Take a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Oh, but a lot of people now are eating. I don't know if you might have been eating this cucumber salad, cucumber on stuff like that. A lot of So yeah, I'm not there yet. I'll take the peanut butter and jelly.
I'll take the peanut butter too.
over the cucumber. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell everybody when your meetings are, and then we'll talk about this other thing we want to talk about. When are your meetings? When is your next meeting?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, then when you're sure, you'll come back on and announce it. How's that? How's that? Well, let's go to this. You got something you want to talk to the community about, and we want to make sure we want to amplify that. Go ahead.
Yep. Well, I was shocked. I got an email from the Stranger paper. They never have reached out to me for interview, comment, nothing. And it was against the CPC. And I thought, and it was negative. And they kind of put words in my mouth saying, oh God, I wish I could pull it up. Anyway, so they I sent it to Felicia Cross and Brandy Grant with CPC, and I feel like don't try to turn me in division with my sisters. I'm sticking with them, and I think the CPC is doing a fabulous job.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm, and I don't know if many out there have attended any of the monthly meetings, but I do. And there's a gentleman on there that will never let us forget. He has a PhD. I'm so sick of hearing about the PhD. Well, I know many people that
Howard Gale? Is that Mr. Howard Gale? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Just because you have a PhD sometimes doesn't mean anything. I know some of the stupidest people that have PhDs, and I'm sick of him thinking that he speaks for the Black community. He doesn't speak for me.
That's right.
He does not speak for me. And that this is another area where we have to support the CPC, and it's a lot of Black women,
That's right.
And so I'm taking the stance where is he targeting our Black women because they're running the CPC,
Right.
I support them. They're doing an incredible job.
Well, that's good. I mean, I'm glad to know that you support because we are, the CPC, it's been long. I mean, we've had some setbacks. I mean, the contract that the city signed was not a good contract and they won't go where the trouble is. The trouble is not the CPC. And so, somebody should get back in touch with strangers and ask them, did they survey the community when they were on the defund wagon?
Right.
Right. So are they taking responsibility for how they help push this movement along? And so what really wants to happen is that I believe Mr. Gale, he wants to run police accountability. He wants to be the one in charge. And again, sometimes for people who say Black Lives Matter, it doesn't really matter because he hasn't said anything about the other side of the ledger.
Right.
At all. And so, he talks about the shootings, rightfully so, and that type of stuff, as if we don't know. I mean, he comes on and he talks about this. We don't know about Black people who got killed. Bro, we've gone to the funerals. Okay, we talked to the families.
Yeah.
we were there at Seattle. At Seattle, the University of Washington for Charlena when they had that meeting. And so I said, okay. So, but I'm glad that you send it back, and you might reach out again to them and ask them that if they're gonna survey what happened to the SPOG contract negotiation, and why don't they keep people abreast about the SPOG and the power that they have compared to what we have. Right. So that kind of stuff. So well, I'm glad you reached out. I'm glad you reached out to the CPC. And I really think that Seattle has a problem with Black leadership. So let's just see how they treat the mayor. Okay, let's see how differently the media might be against this leadership compared to past leadership. Okay, they might have beat up on him, but what else was happening? Now, if you want to build one Seattle, why not the media picking up on, hey, let's have a one Seattle contest. What can we do? Get everybody to send in ideas how to make one Seattle. They're not interested in that. They're interested in division, and they're not. And they really have a problem with Black leadership. We just have to call it like it is.
We do have to call it like it is. It is, but it's going to take all of us to not fall for that. Do not fall for the division. We need to stick together. We can be so powerful together.
That's right. And that's what we have to do. And I really like that. So let's end our conversation right here. Thank you for coming on, and let's stick together. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Right. So you're welcome. You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden. We'll be right back.
Market Street Shoes is happy to sponsor the Mother's Justice Show in honor of our mother, Jackie Higgins Rosebrook, who spent her life fighting for social justice, and also in honor of all mothers who fight for social justice. Market Street Shoes, fashionable footwear and apparel for life's everyday adventures, in the heart of Ballard since 2006. Visit marketstreetshoes.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Norman, your health tip of the day from the African American Wellness Project. Infections like polio, smallpox, and measles used to be as common as coronaviruses today. But now we have life-saving vaccines for those and other diseases. Sadly, too many children still go unvaccinated. Choosing to delay or refuse vaccine puts your child and other children at serious risk. So talk to your child's doctor today about vaccines. And for more information, visit aawellnessproject.org.
Drive Time Radio with New York Vinny.
Hi, it's New York Vinny inviting you to join me as I return to Seattle with another one of my passions, cars. An hour version of Drive Time is a weekly look at the automotive world from classics right on through to electrics. Each week we'll review the new, reminisce about the old, and talk about a lifestyle that is built around cars and the people who drive them. Saturday mornings at 8, right here on Alternative Talk, 1150 KKNW.
Bored with the other stations, hammering away on the same old talking points? Try Alternative Talk 1150 and get some variety.
Good afternoon. You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW Alternative Positive Talk Radio. I'm your host, Reverend Walden. It's my joy to be on the air. We want to thank all our supporters out there who continue to support us. I want to give out our website. Our website is, of course, www.mothers, mothers for FOR, police accountability .org. And our website, our email is mothers, mothers for police accountability @yahoo.com. Our hotline is 206-329-2033. We've had that number for 32 years. I want to bring my next guest on. My next guest on is Miss Felicia Cross, she's getting a good radio voice also, like the other caller, my other guests. How are you doing, Miss Cross? She's working. You work for the Community Police Commission. The other times you were in here in your own personal ability, but today you're representing where you work at. You want to just come on and talk about it?
Yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity. Yes, so as of April, I'm coming up on a year now. I am currently the director of community engagement for the Seattle Community Police Commission, and I'm super excited about this position because it's just a step further into being out here trying to do what's best for our community, holding everybody accountable. This is a big job. It's a heavy job, but I got my sleeves rolled up and I'm ready for it.
All right. Well, hey, thank you for being ready for it. So let's actually just talk a few minutes about the appointment and spend the rest of the time talking about what you want to talk about, because I think you got a lot to say about what's going to be happening in the community. So, what do you think about what do you think about how Judge Jackson was treated with all of those elementary questions toward her? What do you think about that?
You know what I think about it? It's just in some ways I'm happy to see it outright front where you can't deny it, because if you don't see something or hear something, if it's not in front of your face, then you can, but you can't undo what you know. You can't undo what you hear and what you see. So in some ways it's like we've been telling you guys this all along, but in other ways, I mean, it's just another day in the life of a Black woman. I mean, I'm not downplaying it. I'm just saying. Another day in the life of a Black woman.
I mean, it's amazing. Mm-hmm. It's amazing how brilliant we are and how brilliant our daughters are. You have daughters, I have granddaughters, and you got a granddaughter too. So you got you girl heavy over there. Yep. And we see the discrimination, and it's blatant. Yep. We saw what happened against Carmen Best, Chief Best. Okay. I mean, really, all of these things against her, and now we see what happened. But it's amazing how the two women crossed over from the Republican Party to vote for her. Yeah. But none of them would stay to shake her hand.
Right.
Isn't that amazing? It's amazing. I mean, it really is amazing.
But amazing. Like I said, now people can't act like it's not happening. It's in everybody's face that it still exists and it is still happening every day on every base. So hopefully some of this vision of all this stuff in your eyes will help some people have a second thought or a second mind or a second heart about how they treat people.
Well, yes, and but look at our humanity.
Yeah,
she was calm under fire. I mean, she had cannons. She had cannons coming after her. Now, you know what? I'm cool, calm, and collected, but honey, I don't know. I probably failed that test. Okay, now, I know how to be cool. Yeah. And I know how to be the other way, like when I was attacked downtown. You call me a name, got a name for you. Call me a name, I got another name for you. So, right. But
you quick like that. But it hurts, You get tired of that constantly.
Yeah, you do. You really do. You get tired of it, and then you have to deal with stuff in your own community. Yeah. And I'm sure, but one of the things I'm real proud of is that she has her locks on, or either braids, and the locks or braids, and so now our hair has been what has given us so much consternation because before we left, before we were stolen. We had picks for our hair. I mean, people knew how to comb their hair. They had been having this hair for a millennia almost. Yeah. so for many years and centuries. So a lot of places, if you don't have conventional straight hair or get your hair straightened, sometimes people have been denied a job based on their hair.
That's right. I can tell you this. I worked in the pharmacy for more than 25 years, and I had my hair braided, and behind the plexiglass, a lady told me, she said I couldn't help her because she felt like I shouldn't be working back in the pharmacy with with those dirty braids in my hair because she's immune suppressed. And what my hair got to do with being immune suppressed.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
So I mean, that's just some of it. You know, we deal with this stuff all the time. So I'm so happy. I'm so proud to be living.
Yeah, I am too. Yeah, I am too. And then she's from my home state. You know, I love my Florida people. Florida, Florida. You know, I'll be talking up a storm here after a while. Florida. She's from South Florida, right. Though, you know, but you know, Florida's a tough state, honey. Florida is a tough state. I mean, really and truly, it is tough on Black folks. Okay, when I was growing up, they only put Black people in the electric chair. But when Ted Bundy got to Florida, I said, "Oh, he won't get out of Florida alive."
Yeah,
not Florida. Florida is a tough state. So anyway, I'm glad to have Sarah, your perspective on it. So maybe one day we should have a Black woman's round table.
Yeah,
you know, and just have Black women.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Think about the young people. Just think about like my granddaughter being able to see herself, in these high places.
Well, but also when Obama was in the White House, it was no drama. No. You know, I mean, nothing like that. They couldn't call him a baby's mom, a baby's daddy, or baby whatever. He was married to Michelle, you know, and he wasn't a thug. So now they had to change the language, and they have to call him Mr. President. Or, you know, something like that, President Obama. I mean, and so the level of respect that had to come was with the territory, you know, and that kind of stuff. And that's always good for our children. You see Black people being respected instead of being disrespected. So now let's switch hats and spend the rest of the time here talking about what's coming up here. We got about, a little over 10 minutes to do that. Talk about what's going to be coming up and why you're here. This other thing was just, we were just chatting it up. But you're here in your official capacity as Director of Community Engagement for the CPC, and I want to say welcome you in that capacity. Welcome you in that capacity and welcome you for the work that you've been doing out in the community. Longtime activist, longtime organizer through her mother, the late Lottie Cross, who actually, was the keeper of clean greens, and she just liked being a farm girl, even though she was not a farm girl. But she had left the farm many years ago, but the farm never left her.
Yeah,
the farm never left Miss Cross, and so you're your mama's daughter. Somebody said not too long ago that you look like her. So yeah, let's kind of like. So what's happening tomorrow night, and why is it important?
Okay, let's dive into it. Tomorrow night, the CPC, the Community Police Commission, will be having our community engagement meeting. It's from 6 to 8. These are monthly meetings that we have, and will be wrapping up the last of a 4-series course. The core elements of the monitor's consent decree. So,
it's a sustainment plan.
His sustainment plan. Thank you, Mother, because I don't know all the terminology. So please chime in.
Well, no, you've only been there a year, and I've been there for ever since Moses was.
So and that's true. I mean, the wealth and knowledge that you bring is invaluable. But this, we, as most people know, we have been under consent for over 10 years now, and the Department of Justice came in because of the organizers like Reverend Walden here and others pulled together to bring the Department of Justice into town to address Seattle Police's patterns of force and use of force patterns. And so that all came about after John T. Williams, that wood carver, was shot and killed downtown in 2010. And so, I mean, Reverend Walden, and there's others too, but Reverend Walden is the one who has stuck it out. But, this was a very serious acknowledgement that the Department of Justice will come in and hear our voices. So we can't let this work just dissipate, because it's been some blood, sweat, and tears put into having this consent decree to make Seattle a better place as far as it comes down to stop and detentions and use of force and all of those things. So tomorrow night, we will be having the fourth of a 4-part series. The federal monitor will be giving his, you say sustainment plan, but assessment he calls.
Assessments, right.
On use of force. Now, the first one, now when I say we, let me clear this up. When I say we, CPC is charged by ordinance, by the bylaws, to be the voice, provide a platform for the voice of the community. And that's what we're doing with these meetings by calling the monitoring team and all of our partners, our accountability partners to the table with us, and SPD at the table. And because that's what we've been charged to do by the federal courts. So when I say we, what I'm saying is we're hosting these meetings and we're bringing this information to the community, because you don't know what you don't know. We just talked about that. You don't know what you don't know. And so the more informed you are about the steps and what it takes and what's been put in to these assessments, in this whole monitoring and all of the things that the Community Police Commission has done to sustain a accountable system for our community with the police department and all the other accountability partners, is very, very important. So,
but also, there's times when we disagree with the monitor. There's times when we disagree with our partners. That's why we filed in court. That's why we have amicus status. We have a right to file on the filing that's been filed on that we don't agree with. And we have a filing. We filed in 2020 when the city wanted to come from under the consent decree. We said no, they wasn't ready yet. So we also want people to know that we have a history of when there's a disagreement or we don't agree with the findings, then we have had, by having amicus status, we have a right to be able to file in the court also. Yeah.
That's absolutely true. We are one of the 3 accountability partners, but we are all independent. We're all independent. So, so we work together, but then we have that right to not agree with.
That's right, and make recommendations to the IG. Make recommendations to OPA, and also to suggest work to be on the IG's work plan. We can do that also.
Right.
And you're doing a good job here. So anyway, but what's happening tomorrow night? I mean, I know that the monitor is going to be there, and he will be. There's a use of force policy. I mean, he's going to be talking about that and going over those places where they believe that it's been improvement. So the CPC, will be looking for all the places where we might not believe that it's been an improvement. So, but we'll be listening. The community can come out, and what you want them to come out, what do you want them to do when they come?
So I need I need the community to show up. We can sit and talk. I'm going to get to preaching here in a minute, but I'm serious about this because, we want to talk about these things and talk about these topics, but, we're not always ready and willing to sacrifice our time to come to the table. And this topic tomorrow night, use of force, is very important, and it affects us, Black and brown people, more than all our sons and our daughters out here, more than any other communities. So It is up to us to make it right. It is up to us to hold them accountable. It is up to us to show up in presence. So tomorrow night, the meeting is on Zoom, and you can definitely go to the Seattle.gov under the Community Police Commission website and get the Zoom link, because you will have to register to get in. So I don't have a phone number, access number to give. I can give you my phone number, which is 206-533-4433. That's 206-533-4433. And you can always email me. I can send you the link. And also I have a copy of the report if you would like to read it. My email address is Felicia, FELICIA .cross, CROSS @seattle.gov. So that's how you can find us. I know most people, you can find me most anywhere, but in Reverend Walden. So I'm asking you guys, and bring somebody with you, bring somebody else along. This affects us,
especially use of force. I mean, the use of force is very important. I mean, I know that there have been some changes in the use of force, but then we know that on the other side of the equation, we've had some escalations of police shootings and that type of stuff, and we need to be able to talk about that, and we'll see what the plan. I mean, we will go over it and let him give his information, and will there be time for questions, or people can ask questions this time, because last time the meeting was structured a little different, so because it's going to be more than one presenters or something like that. So this time community will be able to ask questions. We hope that he will be able to answer the question and be prepared, because we can't answer questions for the monitor. That's not our role.
Not our role.
We're not in charge. We're not in charge of that. I mean, we don't have the judge's ear. He does. Okay. So we can't answer no question that he doesn't answer. We have to send the questions to him, and that's what you do. Don't you gather those questions and and send them to send them to him. And this is our second monitor for people who've not been engaged in that. We had Merrick Bob for a few years, all the way up until this gentleman was appointed last year. I mean, last fall, I believe it was. The fall of 21. I mean, I believe it was. Fall of 20. Fall of 20. Yeah. So he's been on the job 2 years, and he's out of Boston. The other monitor was Merrick Bob. He was out of Los Angeles. I believe going forward, you need local monitors, at least in a region, because all these regions are different. I mean, Los Angeles, Rampart, the police department, all these areas are different. So we would need a regional monitor if they were coming around, because regional people know what's happening in the region. People from Boston, they're from someplace else, and different kind of regions and stuff like that. So so
I just want to say too that I have the agenda is wide open for after the presentation of the assessment. Then the rest of the meeting agenda is for questions and answers. So anything you wanna. We're going to have respectful dialogue, though. We're not going to have,
that's right, respectful dialogue. And maybe somebody wanted to ask the question of why, send an email to the stranger, and that's why they want to survey the CPC. I mean, but they weren't surveying the community around defunding the police. They still haven't surveyed the community around SPOG, the contract, or that kind of stuff. It gets funny when Black people in leadership, okay? It gets real funny, and all this other stuff comes up. So it's good. So I'll be calling up a few persons and sending them your way to get the link, because we're doing it through the city system, and not really through the city system. So it has a little bit more security. Right. We had some people who tried to bomb our meeting with bad words. So where they have to think that we grew up with say sticks and stones might break my bones, but
boy, they came up against a force.
We're gonna get upset about somebody calling us a name.
Yeah,
my Lord.
We kept that meeting going.
They didn't even describe the name, they didn't say, they used the N-word, but they didn't say fat, black, purple. I mean, it's like no description. So it's like, if that's the best you can do. I mean, if people got afraid on electronic meeting where you were absolutely safe. So now this is a safer system. So we want everybody to come back. And also you want to put a plug in out there about anybody who's really wanting to be a commissioner. You got a lot of friends in Seattle. Call up some of friends, because when you were over on the other side of the ledger, you all could get a room full of people out with your aunties cooking and your mom's cooking. So we just need to have a community meeting where we can have some food.
Right.
Get back to those days. So
Still get that.
Yeah. Well,
but I'm sorry. I'm glad you brought that up, though. Seriously, we are there are vacant spots coming open and are open to be commissioners. So please go to the website.
Good. All right. Well, this is good. We got to go now. Thank you so much. All right. You've been listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW. Positive Talk Radio. This is your Reverend Walden. I'll be back next week. Take care.